Okay, so um I was going through my playlists and my videos, and the literature playlist is a little bare. So I thought what I would do is like book recommendations. I used to do that long, long time ago, and for some reason I stopped. I don't remember why. And of course, those videos are gone, long gone, because I remember specifically why. Like the videos that I of the silent film critiques where the lighting is just bad, like where I used to do them upstairs and everything. Yeah. And that's one of the reasons. So I thought that I would get back into that. And yeah, so they're just recommendations. I know that a lot of other channels do reviews on books. I don't read a lot of new books. Yeah. And I probably should, but I'm used to the old stuff. So yeah. And so I wanted to start out with a book. Oh, I loved this book when I was a kid. And the funny thing is that every once in a while I would remember the title and go to find it. I could never find it to buy. And then I was in a collection shop and I found it. I was so excited. In fact, I brought it over and it's Kavik the Wolf Dog. And it's by Walter Moray and it's illustrated by Peter Parnell. Sorry if I say that incorrectly. And there he is on the back. Um, now, Walt, I guess it's just Walt. I think I said Walter. Now, Walt is also the author of Gentle Ben. He wrote quite a few uh, books having to do with animals. And so this particular book actually was released in 1968 and it received a Dutton Animal Book Award in the same year. And it also has a made-for-TV movie called The Courage of Kavik the Wolf Dog. It was it aired on NBC in 1979, so almost 10 years after it was published. And now a little bit about Walt is that he is from the Pacific Northwest. Actually, let's bring him up real quick. Uh, let's see. Yeah, Walt. So yeah, he's from Hoquiam, Washington, which I know where that is. I've been there a few times. And then he passed away in Oregon in 1992. And Oregon actually has quite a few memorials to him because he had property in Wilsonville. And let's see, what else? There's a school that's, let's see, the Wilsonville Public Library has honored Morey by naming its Walt Morey Children's Room after him. They display a bronze statue of him and occasionally displaying other memorabilia, such as his typewriter and editions of his book. The Reynolds School District in Troutdale opened Walt Morey Middle School in 1998. And yeah, what else? I saw something else here. Let's see. Yeah, wrote many of his books. After his death, his widow sold the property to developers. Uh, the development was named Morey's Landing and also contains Walt Morey Park, a bear-themed park. It's fitting. Gentle Ben was his best known book, was his most famous book, and was his And in fact, in the picture that I showed, he's holding Gentle Ben. So the book Gentle Ben it features an 8 foot tall, life-size carved wooden statue of Maury's famous fictional bear, Gentle Ben. In 2012, the statue was stolen from the park by teenagers. Oh, uh, you hooligans! But it was returned. And it was returned to the park. Yeah, you, you whippersnappers. At least it was returned. It was found. And well, but like I was saying earlier, a lot of his books are based off of first of all, in the Pacific Northwest and Alaska. Seems like he spent some time in Alaska. Let's see. Places where Maury lived for all of his life. And so, yeah, Pacific Northwest and Alaska. And they are based off of, they also have, because I haven't read all of his books, but animals. So you have like Gentle Ben, like I said, most famous, Kavik the wolf dog, which is my favorite. We'll get into in a second. There's Scrub Dog of Alaska, um, Operation Blue Bear, You're the Black Pony, the Lemon Meringue Dog. The list goes on. So, yeah. But as for Kavik the wolf dog, now when I was a kid, growing up in the 80s, animal books were popular. Now, of course, this was also when Animalia got popular. I remember going to the library and there were the posters everywhere for Animalia. There were two books, weren't there? Because there was one with a black cover and one with a red cover. I could be wrong. Tell me in the tell me in the comment section. And but yeah, I there was that. A lot of kids were reading Where the Red Fern Grows, and of course, this was also during the time when Prancer became popular. It was released, and of course, everybody loved Prancer. And Milo and Otis, of course, that was then banned because of, I think I did a video on that. Yeah, there was a controversy with Milo and Otis. It was banned around here anyway. I don't know about everybody, about everywhere else. And so there were a lot of animal. And of course, I read Bambi. That doesn't mean everybody else did. And of course, Beverly Cleary, where it had Ralph on the motorcycle, and everybody loved Ralph on the motorcycle. Yeah, the little rat that I think he was a mouse. Anyway, he rode the motorcycle. I think that was Beverly Cleary. Oh my gosh. And of course, Bunnicula. I read Bunnicula. I loved Bunnicula. So with that said, people were reading a lot of these animal books and watching the animal movies and not just Disney. In the 80s, we had, of course, Great Mouse Detective and, uh, um, oh shoot, Oliver and Company. And so, yeah, Disney wasn't making as many, they weren't making a movie every year. That wasn't until Beauty and the Beast. That's when they started to think about doing that every year. Because Little Mermaid came out and then it was like 2 years later. Yeah, because 89 and then so anyway, Kavik the Wolf Dog was one that I checked out of the school library. And the story was one that just was so different from all these other dog stories. Now, of course, Where the Red Fern Grows just turns you into a puddle of tears. I mean, it's just grab like 3 boxes of Kleenex when you I love the story. I still love that story, but yeah, you got to prepare yourself with that one. And I have read Fox and the Hound. Old Yeller is another one that you Savage Sam is has more adventure in it and everything. And so yeah, it does have a sequel. Savage Sam is a sequel to Old Yeller, actual books. And But Kavik was very different for me, and I'm not sure why it was. And so when it comes to the story, it starts off, Kavik is an Alaskan Malamute, so he is a big dog, and he's a sled dog. Now, it starts off he is bred for racing. That's all he knows. He's his owner is making money off of him, and his owner is Charlie One Eye, and he's a good villain. Yeah, he's oh, and he's like in the story for like one chapter. And trust me, that's one of the best things about Walt's writing is he establishes the villain. So One Eye is not nice to Kavik, but fortunately you don't have to deal with him for too long. And after this race, um, he sells Kavik to a Mr. Hunter. And so after the race, Kavik is loaded onto a plane to where Mr. Hunter lives. But there's a terrible storm and the plane crashes, which unfortunately the pilot dies. Now Kavik is in a iron cage. He can't get out. And the writing of this story, the point of view is in Kavik's mind. So he's watching all of this going on. And is a so it's not talking animals. You know, it's not like once the humans leave, he starts talking. No, it's just the mindset of a dog. Um, Kind of along the same lines as Call of the Jack London, and in that sense. And so those were other, Call of the Wild and White Fang, and those were others that we uh read a lot when we were kids. And but anyway, so there are critters that are um bothering Kavik. There's like raccoons that are really messing with him. There are other dog-like animals like the coyotes that are, well, there is a village nearby, and there's a young boy who, what was the boy's name? Andy. So Andy Evans he's going exploring around in the woods and the forest and everything, and he finds this plane crash, and he helps Kavik out of the cage. He's able to help Kavik out of the cage, and he takes Kavik home, and his dad, Kurt, says, well, yeah, we gotta get his strength back up. We gotta nurse him back to health. They call a doctor, the doctor in town known as Dr. Walker, and they slowly nurse Kavik back to health. And of course, the story doesn't end there, but I don't want to give everything away. And so Andy's mom, because of the size of Kavik, is at first very scared of Kavik. And they do try to keep him a secret from everybody in town. And so again, it's again, I couldn't tell you why this one stuck out for me, but I was so excited when I found the book. I read it in a day, and it still sticks with me. I mean, I still love the story. And um and I don't know why. I don't know what it is. It has to be Walt's writing style. It's so different from, it's a unique writing style because again, it's not like um first person where Kavik is saying, well, they're helping me, or um like Charlie One Eye, well, he's a terrible owner. I'm glad I'm getting away from him, something like that. No, it's not like that at all. And so he has a unique writing style, and and all of that. And so I, I couldn't tell you, but for the longest time I was trying to find it. I couldn't find it, and I was just absolutely I was so happy to find it, and especially because it was the cover that I remembered as a kid. And so more nostalgia for me. So anyway, yes, I do recommend this book. Um, like I said, the Charlie One Eye is only in one chapter, and and the relationship between Andy and Kavik is fantastic. And and Walt Moray, Ken, I'm sorry if I'm saying these names incorrectly, but uh, he's also known for Gentle Ben and quite a few other animal stories, and stories that take place in the Pacific Northwest, which is where I live, as well as Alaska. And he's been there are a lot of memorials around Oregon, and for him, there's also a school named after him, is what I read. But anyway, so that is Kavik, the Wolf Dog. It was published in 1968, written by Walt Moray.